Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Eva. I'm currently fourth year student. So this is my presentation about APU Japan. Why I chose my way to see the world is because APU helped me to see the world even wider. So my name is Eva. Aku dari SMA 2 Tangerang Selatan. Terus aku masuk ke APU itu tahun 2016 fall intake. Jadi bulan September. Terus aku majornya itu Asia Pacific Studies. Aku focusing on international relations. And the thing that I can tell you is that I love APU so much. And I feel like being in APU is the best decision that I have ever made. So I hope that you will also take the best decision for yourself, whether it is APU or not. But here I'm going to share my experience. Kenapa sih aku ngerasa senang banget di APU? Dan aku mau share juga quote ini. I really like this quote. This is from my mother actually. We don't know how our future will be, but taking a chance as the first step will be an opening door to many other opportunities, and that is how we shape our future. And for me, like coming to Japan is the first chance that I took, and then because I came to Japan to APU, I could see, the world even better, and it opened me to like many other opportunities. And first of all, kenapa aku pilih Jepang? Kenapa aku pilih ke APU? Itu yang pertama adalah alasannya karena aku ke APU Summer Camp 2014 pas aku SMA kelas 2. Di sini aku benar-benar experience kampusnya. Aku datang ke sini 1 minggu. Itu aku ngeliat kampusnya, aku seneng banget. Kayak aku seneng banget sama kampusnya karena itu ada di atas gunung gitu kan kampusnya. Aku seneng banget. Terus juga aku pengen belajar international relations udah dari SMA. Jadi pas aku lihat APU ini, APU juga ada international relations, so it match, right? And also the biggest thing is that because of the APU's environment, as you already know from the previous presentation from Professor Kondo, APU is a really diverse community. Kayaknya kamu nggak bisa deh nemuin other places yang kayak APU karena ada more than maybe now it's 92 nationalities di APUs itu sendiri. Jadi kita bisa benar-benar belajar banyak culture, kita bisa tahu gimana sih rasanya ada di international community. Dan di APU itu nggak cuma fokus ke akademik aja, ada juga non-academic activities yang kita bisa ikutin, kayak events, organization, circles. Itu bakal jadi balance untuk your campus life. Here is the seasons in Japan. Maybe you know, kayak Jepang itu punya 4 seasons. Tapi ini adalah foto yang aku ambil dari di Beppu sendiri. Jadi dalam 1 tahun ada 4 seasons, dan kamu nggak bakal bosen deh. Aku nggak pernah bosen ngelihat pemandangan ini. Pas lagi fall, ini di kampus kayak gini. Pas lagi winter, itu kayak gini bagusnya. Kalau lagi salju itu bagus banget. Terus ini di Beppu Park. Di Beppu Park kalau lagi ada sakura tuh kayak gini. Bagus banget kalau buat ngelihat sambil piknik gitu misalnya. Terus juga pas summer itu pasti biasanya ada summer festival juga, ada fireworks kayak gini. Cuman karena sekarang corona jadi nggak ada fireworks sih. Ya, gitu. Pokoknya 4 seasons ini benar-benar bikin nggak bosan, bikin betah banget tinggal di Beppu. Terus, oh ya, aku bakal ceritain gimana sih my university life from first year sampai fourth year sekarang ini. First year, aku baru datang ke Beppu, itu awal-awalnya itu aku pengen coba banyak hal. Jadi, aku pertama cobain Indonesian Week. Jadi di APU itu ada multicultural weeks namanya. Jadi ada kayak performance gitu. Misalnya Indonesian Week, Malaysian Week, terus ada Thai Week, dan semacamnya kayak from many other countries. Aku di sini nari di Indonesian Week. Jadi kamu bisa perform, bisa juga jadi panitia. Dan ini seru banget. Terus aku juga sempat local exchange, namanya itu kayak volunteer untuk Summer Festival di Kumamoto. Ini juga semuanya event-event ini di-provide di APU, jadi kamu tinggal apply. Jadi banyak banget kesempatan untuk ikut-ikut kayak gini. Terus, next itu second year. Second year aku jadi resident assistant. Mungkin ada yang udah pernah dengar, mungkin ada yang belum pernah dengar. RA ini kayak pembimbing di asrama, jadi untuk support anak-anak baru yang baru datang di dorm, karena anak-anak baru itu harus tinggal di dorm kan, terutama international students. Jadi kita kerjanya adalah untuk nge-support students baru, terus kayak bikin event-event biar nggak homesick segala macam. Dan I think that this year was the best year of my university life, karena di sini aku belajar banyak di organisasi ini, belajar tentang gimana sih cara kerja langsung gitu sama orang-orang dari seluruh dunia. Kayak di sini banyak nationality juga kan di resident assistant ini. Terus juga gimana cara take care orang lain, juga kita harus paham misalnya rule yang harus diikutin di Jepang, misalnya kayak apa ya, buang sampah itu kayak harus dipisah-pisah misalnya. Itu juga kita harus paham supaya kita bisa ngajarin ke orang. Pokoknya this was the best year of my university life. Terus beside of RA, sebenarnya aku juga ada ikutan event lain kayak jadi pembimbing di acara-acara event gitu yang ada di kampus juga. Dan itu semua bisa di-apply pas kita udah di kampus. Jadi nanti ada kayak announcement gitu. Terus, third year aku exchange ke Brussels, ke Belgium, for half a year. Di sini kenapa aku ke Belgium? Soalnya aku waktu itu pengen belajar international relations in terms of like European studies. So, ketika aku lihat listnya itu, ada Belgium yang benar-benar fokus ke IR-nya, jadi aku pilih Belgium. Dan di sini kalau bisa lihat ini foto-foto, ini orang Indonesia yang kita sama-sama exchange juga di waktu yang sama, tapi dia ke Perancis, dia ke Belanda, aku ke Belgia, dia ke Finland. Jadi nanti kita ketemu gitu kita ketemu di Praha, terus kita jalan-jalan bareng gitu. Seru banget sih. Terus ini cuman salah satu contoh juga, kayak ketika aku ke Jepang, aku nggak nyangka aku bakal bisa pergi ke luar negeri juga yang apa ya, jadi aku bisa lihat lebih banyak gitu. Aku nggak nyangka, tapi begitu aku ke Belgia, akhirnya aku bisa jalan-jalan juga ke tempat-tempat yang luar biasa ini. Contohnya ini. Jadi aku ngerasa kayak the chance that I took kayak untuk came to Japan, it will lead me to greater opportunities to see the world. So I'm really satisfied of being in APU. And fourth year, aku sekarang tahun keempat, udah mau lulus bulan September. Itu aku fokusin tesis, karena aku nulis tesis, juga job hunting, karena aku mau kerja di Jepang. Tesis ini, karena semester ini itu online kelasnya, jadi ya di rumah aja nulis tesis gitu. Terus job hunting juga lumayan ada dampak sih dari pandemik itu, karena banyak yang kayak information session-nya dibatalin lah, terus ada juga yang company yang ngurangin jumlah orang yang mereka ambil gitu-gitu, ada sih. Lumayan susah juga aku rasa karena pandemik. Tapi pas aku job hunting ini ya banyak juga support dari kampus. Aku kayak consult ke career office misalnya. Aku email mereka, aku kesulitan, aku butuh konsultasi misalnya kayak gitu. Terus alhamdulillah setelah hampir 7-8 bulan kayaknya, 8 bulan aku job hunting, aku udah diterima di 3 companies. Tapi aku belum decide aku mau kerja di mana, tapi aku akan kerja di Jepang, dan untuk kotanya aku akan kerja di Sapporo. Gitu. Terus, next, besides APU, kan kalian tahu kan, APU itu ada di Beppu, di sini. Di Beppu itu, walaupun itu kota kecil, tapi ada banyak hal yang bisa kita explore. Misalnya, onsen. Beppu itu terkenal sebagai tempat the best onsen in the world, I think. Contohnya ini di Kanawa. Kanawa ini tempat destinasi favorit, terutama anak-anak baru kalau baru datang biasanya ke sini pasti. Di sini ada banyak sekali onsen-onsen yang bisa kita lihat, nikmatin, karena di Beppu itu benar-benar pemandangannya tuh bagus banget. Karena aku suka sih, personalnya aku suka banget pemandangan yang kayak gini, contohnya di Kanawa. Terus juga onsen yang lain, misalnya kamu mau masuk ke onsennya, hot springnya, itu misalnya di Hotan Onsen. Di Hotan Onsen itu ada kayak private bath, jadi bisa untuk sendiri berdua gitu, misalnya sama temennya gitu. Kalau misalnya malu untuk gabung sama orang lain. Gitu. Terus juga yang lain ada Umitamago, akuarium gitu. Ini ada di antara Beppu dan Oita City, antara Beppu City dan Oita City. You can take the bus, I think. And ini walaupun nggak begitu besar, tapi ini bagus banget. Aku waktu pertama kali ke sana aku ambil foto ini dan puas banget sih. Karena ternyata apa ya? Yang ini lebih luas daripada yang aku expect gitu. Bagus banget. Terus bisa juga ke Yufuin. Yufuin itu ada di mana sih? Di sini kan Beppu. Yufuin itu agak sedikit terpisah, dia di sini. Bisa naik mobil atau naik bis juga ada. Dan di sini tuh pemandangannya juga bagus, makanannya juga enak-enak. Ini ada cheesecake terenak, harganya cuma 150 yen kalau nggak salah, murah banget. Ini enak banget, aku sering ke Yufuin. Gitu. Terus, ya ini the last tips on how to realize your dreams. This is my tips. Pertama, itu harus punya motivasi yang penting. Karena kalau nggak punya motivasi, akan susah untuk maju, ya nggak sih? Terus setelah punya motivasi harus punya courage. You need the courage to take the chance. So after you take the chance, you have to be flexible too. Karena sometimes ketika kita udah take the risk, take the chance, tapi kadang it just doesn't work. But then you don't stop there. You go to plan B, you go to plan C, and then you keep trying. You never stop, even if ketika kamu fail itu nggak berhenti dong, pasti harus tetap mencoba. Terus saat mencoba, walaupun itu susah, tapi harus selalu diiringin dengan doa, karena aku percaya doa selalu ngelindungin kita dan supaya kita bisa mencapai tujuan yang kita mau. Terus kita juga harus confident, karena aku yakin kalau misalnya kita percaya diri, pasti bisa. Pasti semuanya bisa kita laluin. Gitu. This is my tips. It's just a brief tips, but I hope it's useful. Oke, terima kasih. Ini dari aku. Kalau misalnya ada yang mau pertanyaan personal, bisa chat aku di LinkedIn atau Facebook Ilmaiza Shiva. Terima kasih.
Alright, so now you see the slide, I believe. Okay, good. So it says going totally global. Why you need to be global? You know the answer already. This is the time of global era. This is the 21st century. Industry 4.0 is coming in. Everything is happening, and then you really have to see everything from global perspective. So you really need to be out of your comfort zone, out of Indonesia, and then join this global campus so that you be prepared for this upcoming 21st century. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so we opened year 2000 so that we can prepare you for the 21st century. Of course, we've been changing curriculum already like 4 times so that we can catch up with the time and then also changes. And then we now are ranked quite high in Japan, even after we have 20 years of history. We are ranked number 5 or 6 in terms of the employability in Japan, and that we are number 5 private university among 600 Japanese private schools. So record is there. And then society is recognizing us that as a place where you can have the best global education. Okay, so let me explain to you why it's happening and how it's done. You see the number here. When we started our university, we said we're gonna have like 350s. 150 is we're gonna have 50% of students must be from Japan. Another 50 should be from abroad. And at this moment, we have around 50, 49.5%. And then we said we need to have at least 50 different countries and regions represented on our campus. We now have 92. And then the last 50 is for the faculty members. We have to have not just Japanese faculty members like myself, but also international faculty members, so that you will receive education from from the faculty members with a different culture background and educational background, so that we can actually materialize truly diverse campus where you can learn not just the theories or ideas, but you can receive many different perspectives, many different interpretations, which you need when you start working with people from different countries and society after you graduate from our university. Okay, next please. So as I said, we have achieved a lot. I'm not trying to brag about it, but we are there thanks to our alumni who are everywhere in the world now working in different fields. They are receiving very, very good reputation from their peers and then from the society. Okay, next slide, please. So this map of Japan shows where we are at. We are on the very much of the left side of the corner. We are on the island of Kyushu. Just like Indonesia, we are island nation. We don't have that many number of islands like Indonesia does, but Kyushu is out of like a main island of Honshu, where Tokyo, Osaka are located. So you are not going to be live in this hustle and bustle of the city, but you'll be living in this very cozy city of 120,000 people, which is very famous for hot springs. So you can spend your time quietly, not much of the shopping, not much of the karaoke, nothing, but you can make friends from all over the world as well as you can concentrate on studying. Next, please. We are not a large university, not like UI or Itebe. We only have 6,000 student body. So 6,000 student body, we have undergraduate and then also graduate program, master's and PhD. But large majority of our students are undergraduate students. And then undergraduate students can choose to study either at the College of International Management or College of Asia Pacific Studies. Let me talk about College of International Management first. You see a square on the screen. It says AACSB. It's a global business school accreditation that shows that we have a global standard business education on our campus. In Indonesia, only ITB has one for their MBA program, but not from undergraduate program. And then we are the only one university in Japan that can give you business education in English with global standard. So if you want to have a good business education, you have no choice. University of Tokyo doesn't give you that one. Waseda doesn't give one. Any other university doesn't give one except APU. In College of, can you go back? I'm sorry. In international management program, we have like a 4 area of studies. You can choose one of them about the end of the second year, you don't have to decide exactly what you want to do when you apply. You have to have a little bit of the idea what you want to study, but you don't have to decide because after you join APU, your idea may change. Probably some of your interests may change, and then after meeting many students from different countries and professors, you go start liking saying like, oh, I was interested in marketing, but now I want to do something else. So we try to give you flexibility. And then also ASCSB is stressing that you should have overall idea about business before you decide on what you want to concentrate on. So you don't have to decide, small like disciplines at the beginning. Later, you're going to have a broader base, and then you also focus on whatever the area you want to study. Okay, and then another college is College of Asia Pacific Studies. Again, we have 4 areas of studies, and then you don't have to choose your area when you enter, but you actually can choose your areas by the end of the second year. And then, of course, you can mix with hospitality and tourism and culture, society, media, or environment and development with international relations. This is something of the flexibility we try to give you because you need broader knowledge base so that you can accommodate all the changes in the 21st century where everything can change quite quickly. Next one, please. So you might have some worries that, oh, I want to study in Japan, but I don't speak Japanese. You don't have to worry about it because we offer all the courses. I would say, almost all the courses in 2 languages, English and Japanese. Okay. Those who are coming as English-based students, I think most of you are English-based students, you are asked to take intensive Japanese language program when you first arrive. About 2 semesters of study so that you should be able to live in Japan. And then also, if you wish to find a job in Japan after they graduate, or if you want to find a Japan-related job back in Indonesia after you graduate, you can take higher level of Japanese classes so that you can go through job interviews in Japanese, and then also you can function in the office in Japanese language. This is only applicable for undergraduate students. For master's and PhD, all the courses are in English. And then you do not have to have Japanese language background, and then you do not have to take any Japanese classes. MBA may ask you to study a little bit, but it's not really for the work in Japan, but more for the survival in Japanese society. Okay, the next slide, please. And then once you arrive on our campus, we'll be asking to stay on our on-campus housing for 1 year. That means 2 semesters. We have about 1,300 rooms on campus for undergraduate students. And then we have about 250 rooms off campus for graduate students. The floor plan you're looking at is for undergraduate dorms. You have a choice of staying in a single room or we call shared room. You see the floor map down below is 2 rooms attached together with sliding door. You see the little arrow at the bottom. And then on one side, if you live on this side, and then the other side is Japanese students. So you actually can learn about Japanese language, Japanese like a society, or you can also teach about your own culture or Bahasa Indonesia to your friend. That's where another set of learning would happen in a dormitory. Of course, in one floor, we have about 30 to 40 students from different parts of the world. So living there is like a living in the 21st century where you'll be exposed to different cultures, different like cooking, different customs, and then different this and that, which we believe is a very good education for you. Next one, please. And then after the second year, you'll be staying by yourself in downtown Beppu, where there are many apartments for you. You can choose to stay in a studio type apartment where you live alone, or just like at the photo, you can choose your friend and then live in like a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom condominium, so that you can cut the cost for the rent a little bit. And then also you can share food and then others, which is a little cheaper than living alone. But once again, there are ample number of housing available in downtown, so you don't have to worry about this. And then usually when you are moving out, there are a lot of like a Facebook page or the announcement, or I want to give some furniture to you, or I want to sell this as secondhand cooking utensil for you. So you usually a lot of things are inherited from your seniors to juniors. So you don't really have to worry too much about housing in our city. Of course, we are not in Tokyo, we are not in Osaka. So you can have a good housing with much lower cost. Next one, please. Okay, so we offer a part-time opportunities, part-time work opportunities for you, not like other countries, because we think you need to be exposed to culture and society of Japan and actually use the language you learn. Not for money, but more for your social experience, so that you can be ready for a job after you graduate. You have an option of working on campus or off campus. On campus, there are a lot of jobs like working in the library or our student cafeteria, just like in the photo, or you can have a job to help teachers, like taking attendance or collecting the materials or distributing all the handouts. That's one. Or in the city, they have, because we are a tourist city, there are a lot of hotels where you can go and then help serve breakfast, clean the room, whatever. And then actually you'll be working with local Japanese uncles or aunties, and then they will speak to you only in Japanese. So you really have to have good command of Japanese so you can improve your Japanese skill. Okay, next one, please. And then another question I usually get besides language issue and then housing issue is scholarship. So because we want to invite smart, brilliant students from overseas, we have prepared one of the largest scholarship fund in Japan for our incoming students. So we provide scholarship in terms of tuition reduction scholarship. So as the slide is saying, the APU's tuition reduction scholarship is valid for 4 years for undergraduate. And then for master's students, 2 years. PhD students, 3 years, okay? And depending on your performance of this entrance screening or admission screening, we would allocate, okay, you are receiving 50% tuition reduction for 4 years or 65%. So you only pay the rest as a part of tuition for us. And then of course, there are more private and the government scholarship available for you. And then they are most likely available after you arrive at the APU. So you can use your GPA to apply for external scholarship, or some of the scholarship interview will be in Japanese language. So you can just prove how much you have studied, you worked hard to acquire Japanese so that you can apply for a scholarship from outside. So this is the cost of attendance. It's a very simple chart in US dollars. So if you are receiving 100% tuition scholarship, there's zero tuition for 4 years. Only thing you have to pay is a one-time admission fee and then housing entrance fee. They are like a more of the deposit, and then insurance, and then you see the cost of living. Once again, we are now in Tokyo, Osaka, so the cost is about 10 to 50% lower than large cities. So if you can cook, of course, it's better. You can lower the cost much. If you need to eat at the restaurant or cafeteria, yes, it's getting a little bit more cost necessary for you. So you have to think. I think our student later who'll be speaking to you can give you better idea about the cost of living for you. Okay, next one, please. So for scholarship, our student office, we have many offices, and then student office is responsible for scholarship. And then if you check their website, you can find what kind of scholarship available, for example, this year. Maybe different when you come to APU, maybe a little bit more opportunities. And then we usually give you an orientation when you enroll. For undergraduate student, you have this kind of scholarship. For a PhD student or master student, we have different set. So we give you all the orientation once you arrive. But I do strongly suggest you do not expect any scholarship available in the first year, because you need to show you're a good student at the university. So first year budget must be well calculated after you receive a admissions letter that says you have tuition reduction of 50%, 65 or 80. And then you have to plan your budget for the first year. And then second year, you can work on your external scholarship or part-time job, whatnot. Okay, good. And then because we are providing you a very special education on our campus, many of the Japanese companies are waiting for you to graduate so that you can work in Japan or back in Indonesia. So for the student who want to stay in Japan and apply for a job, we have about 96, 97% job placement rate. That means you receive job offer or job offers in a plural sense before you graduate. Okay, usually Japanese companies, they will do all the job interviews in the last semester of your senior year. And then they give you job offer before you graduate. So you don't have any gap between university and your work. Only gap you're gonna have about 6 months gap, because most of the Japanese company, they hire people in the month of April. And then actually you are graduating from APU in the month of September. So you have 6 months. A lot of Indonesian students, they have more like a training in like a job skill or the language, or sometimes they go back to Indonesia, so they can work on some kind of part-time job to save money or spend the time with the family. That's something you can do. And then because our students are very popular, at the same time, we have a disadvantage of being outside of the metropolitan area. So don't worry, because over 250 companies, they fly in from Tokyo or Osaka or anywhere in Japan to find students from our seniors. So even you do not leave our campus in Beppu, you can get interviews from companies from Tokyo, all the top-notch companies, they all come in to find you there. Even some of the banks in Jakarta, they fly in from Jakarta to our campus to interview you. Okay, next please. So they are, the list here are the samples of the companies where our students work. On the right-hand side, left-hand side is a major employers. You see all the top companies. Increasing number of our students now working for like a smaller joint venture company so that they can have better control of their life. Or some of them, they go into the field of NGO or NPO. And then on the different side, we have a list of graduate schools where our students go and then work for their S2 or SD-TIGA. You see impressive list because our students are also not just for student activities, but academically they are well trained. The next slide shows one of the example of the Indonesian students. She graduated last year. You see the name. Now she's studying at Harvard Graduate School. This is happening to many of our students. Some students want to work for a few years so they can save the tuition and then move on to the graduate school. And now you see all the information page. You can connect with us with Instagram, Facebook, whatnot. If you really want to have information from now on, you can just kind of use a QR code right there and get connected. Please do so at this moment.